All right. This is kind of a craft with me. I'm only going to paint backgrounds in my planner books for next year. So I have 5 Leuchtturms here, and I have calculated that I need around 28 pages for my monthly booklets at the start where I do my planning. So I'm gonna start painting after that. So this is my December book that I have already started, but I'm simply going to, paint each book in turn so that when one is drying, I am painting the next one. So it's kind of a Ford principle. Is that an expression in English? It's like a factory, mass making. We call it the Ford principle in Swedish. I'm not sure if it exists in English. Anyway, I'm just gonna protect the pages. Behind the pages I'm going to paint, so these, the scrap paper from an old planner should do the trick. And I won't lie, I am feeling a bit apprehensive about this. I know it's only paper, but books are kind of expensive, and I am scared of the empty page, both when I draw and when I paint and when I start new books, planner books. But I think actually this kind of mass making concept is helping me to, well, be less precious about the whole thing, because I'm just, I'm not thinking, I'm just doing. So yeah, the only thing I need to keep track of is what kind of book I am painting in at the moment. For example, this is the December book, and so it's fine to use this kind of Christmassy red. Maybe it's not as fitting in the April book, for example, so I need to check each time I change books which one I'm in, so that the backgrounds fit the theme or season. And I mentioned in a previous video that I'm planning to use these books for, well, each book will contain 2 months. And that is kind of optimistic of me, because it seems that I use about 4 pages a day, which means around 120 pages per month. So for journaling, which is, the pages I paint are for journaling. But then I need my 28 pages for planning as well. So taken together, that is more than a Leuchtturm contains, because they contain 251 pages. So, well, my solution is, 1, to rip out the monthly booklets at the beginning of the book when the month is done, and insert a new one. So that will be new paper from somewhere else, like, for example, old butchered Leuchtturms or other notebooks. So I will add 28 more pages once I've used up one monthly booklet and put a new one in. What else? Do I have another solution? Because I still am not sure that the pages will last me through the month. But I'm just gonna have to wait and see. But also, I think perhaps, no. To begin with, I was thinking I might paint the pages, like paint 100 pages and then leave blank pages and put another monthly booklet there, but that means that's not a good idea, because then I will use the pages in the actual book for the planning instead of doing as, oh my god, this is rambly, but yeah, so the solution is not to do it that way. But you could do it that way if you don't use as many pages as I do. You can paint the amount of pages you think you're going to use for journaling, and then leave room for the next booklet for planning. But no, that's not how I'm going to do it. I might leave pages for sketching. I have started a specific sketchbook, so maybe not, but it might be nice to have at least like 10 pages, 20, 10 a month for drawing faces, because that's my new hobby. But I'm not sure yet. And as I'm doing this, it does strike me that this is a lot of work for a planner / journal. You know, maybe there are ready-made books with different color pages that I could use, but on the other hand, this is quite relaxing. It's a hobby to paint these pages and embellish them, and maybe there aren't any books that I like, and I like doing things myself, making them myself, and the ideal would be to use second-hand notebooks, but now I've bought these because, you know, in a fit of insanity, I bought all these books, so I need to use them. Yeah, so, you know, that's what I'm doing. And this is just the first step. I'm just painting one layer in this video, but I will maybe add another layer in some of the books, like perhaps add some gold, some borders, like a darker color around the edges, maybe kind of a marbled effect, or what's it called when you use a sponge to add another color on top of the base layer. So I don't know, I might do that just to add interest. Maybe some stenciling. Yes, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that, but I might do that. And then I'm going to add maybe washi tape, borders, I sometimes cut strips of, well, pages from books. Like, for example, if a good example is, like, for this page that's green, I might use a book on gardening or flowers, you know, because when there's a splash page with a photograph that covers the whole page, you can cut strips from that and you get kind of an alternative to washi tape that you can use as a border or as some kind of embellishment. So, I mean, when you use washi tape, the good thing about washi tape is that you don't need glue. You just peel off what the strip you need, and you put it down in the book. But using books with photographs in them gives you more original borders and embellishments. So you're not limited to the colors and the patterns that the people who make washi tape give you or sell to you, I should say. So I kind of like that. I like the uniqueness of, just cut strips from books. So yeah, that's the tip of the day. But anyway, that's what I'm going to add on top of these layers of paint. So in time, they will not just be yellow and red and green pages, they will be fully embellished like a junk journal, really, except I've made them from Leuchtturms. And another advantage to doing this ahead of time, I mean, I've talked in another video about how I don't want to lay the tracks while the train is moving, so having pages prepped when I start one of these books is such a help, because I don't need to focus on that. I can just focus on planning and journaling and using the book. But another bonus, apart from using up my stash, is that I can, use stuff in my stash that's not seasonal. Because if I only embellish the book I'm in at the moment, which is November right now, I mean, maybe I run across this beautiful, maybe I have a book about, I don't know, flowers and birds and stuff like that. Maybe I don't think that fits the November theme, but I still want to make a page using those things. Well, then I can just pick out my April book or June book or even August book and embellish some pages there with these birds and flowers, because I've painted these backgrounds, so I can just go ahead and fill up the pages with, bookmarks and postcards and whatever. So it's a way of having a whole year's worth of projects going. And of course you can do, I mean, I make junk journals as well, or, bind my own journals, whatever you want to call them. So of course I can work in them, and I have like rose themes and angel themes and stuff like that. But the very seasonal stuff I want to put in my planner books, because I know I'm going to use them in specific months, and I really like having that, I don't know, specific aesthetic or specific associations for each month. I guess the drawback is that if I make like spring pages now in November, once I get to spring, I might actually associate those pages with November, because I remember doing them now. Because actually when I look back in my books that I've used up, I remember making those pages, and I sort of get the same feeling as I had when I made them, so I can imagine the weather and like the temperature and what I was doing. And yeah, so that is kind of a drawback of prepping these pages beforehand, but I mean, I think I can live with that. I'm gonna have to. So yeah, this is it, I just switch out the books and paint a couple of pages at a time, and the rest of them are lying around me drying at the moment, and I'll go ahead and start again on the first one.